Long before humans noticed the ivy climbing old stone walls, and long before locked doors forgot their keys, we fairies were watching. We watch quietly, you see, from beneath leaves, behind petals, and inside the hush where gardens sleep. This is the story of a garden that was forgotten, and of 3 children who helped it remember how to live again. I was there, fluttering between roses and roots, listening to the earth whisper hope. Come closer now. Let me tell you what truly happened inside the secret garden. When Mary Lennox first came to the great stone house on the moor, her footsteps sounded sharp and lonely. She had lived a life where others served her but never saw her, and so her heart had grown thin, like soil that had never been watered. From my perch on the ivy, I watched her wander the long halls, her face pale, her eyes searching, as though something important had gone missing and she didn't yet know what it was. The wind followed her, curious. The walls listened. And the garden, oh the garden, stirred in its sleep. Because lonely children often carry the seeds of change. It was the robin who told her first. We fairies trust robins. They remember secrets better than keys. As Mary walked the grounds, the bird hopped just ahead of her, tilting his head as if to say, "There is something here you have not yet found." I watched Mary's fingers trace ivy-covered walls. I felt her curiosity bloom, small but real. She heard of a garden locked away after sorrow struck, a place no one entered anymore. And in that moment, the garden's roots sighed beneath the earth. Hope had heard its name spoken aloud. It was not chance that led Mary to the key. Nothing that grows ever truly is. The wind nudged her. The robin called. And there, half hidden in the soil, lay the small rusted key. When Mary unlocked the door, the garden gasped. Vines tangled, roses slept, branches bent under the weight of neglect. But beneath the stillness, life waited. I hovered close as Mary stepped inside, quiet as a promise. She did not yet know how to tend a garden, but she knew how to care. And that was enough to begin. Day by day, Mary returned. Her hands learned the language of soil. Her cheeks warmed with sun and effort. And the garden responded, slowly, shyly, gratefully. We fairies gathered near the roots, guiding worms, waking seeds, spreading just a touch of sparkle where it was needed most. Mary was no longer alone. She had the garden now, and the garden had her. When she laughed for the first time, flowers leaned closer. Then came Dickon, with mud on his boots and joy in his pockets. He spoke to animals as equals, and they listened. The garden recognized him at once. Under his care, green things grew braver. Birdsong thickened the air, and Mary's laughter grew louder. Together, they worked not as masters of the garden, but as friends. We fairies danced unseen between them, for joy like that is contagious, even to magic. But the garden was not finished yet. There was another child, one kept hidden by fear and silence. Colin Craven believed he was too weak to live, because no one had ever shown him otherwise. When Mary and Dickon brought him to the garden, the earth held its breath. I circled above as Colin stood, trembling, among the flowers. And then, he stood. The garden welcomed him the way it welcomes all things willing to grow. Day after day, Colin returned. He breathed deeper. He laughed louder. He walked farther. The garden worked its quiet magic, but it was the children who did the believing. We fairies only nudged. The rest was courage. When Colin ran for the first time, the roses bloomed all at once. Even the wind applauded. At last, the door was opened, not in secret, but in joy. The garden stood in full bloom, alive with color and sound, and when the adults finally saw it, they understood. This was not just a garden restored, it was 3 children transformed. I perched on a sunflower, smiling as the garden stood tall again. And so, dear listener, this is what the secret garden teaches us. That kindness is a form of magic, that attention can heal what neglect has broken, and that when we care for something, or someone, we often grow alongside them. Gardens, like hearts, only need patience, belief, and love to bloom again. We fairies are still watching, waiting for the next locked door, and the next child brave enough to open it. Until then, tend your own small corners of the world. They are listening.